Everybody in?
Yep.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
We are great.
I feel like this is putting too much, like you can see all my clogged pores from going to Palm Springs right now.
Actually, no, because the ring light smooths everything out.
Oh, okay.
That's why we do ring lights.
Should I just walk around town now holding one in front of myself?
I essentially do. So welcome back to Classy Chaos, where we too care what we look like on our videos sometimes.
Well, it's hard when you can't see yourself. I'm like, I don't know what other people are going to see at this moment.
I see beauty, Ashley.
Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad you do.
Beauty. We're back, usual suspects. Again, I'm Nina, your host. We've got our gorgeous co-host.
Oh, I'm Ashley. Hi.
And I'm Victoria.
You said that too quickly. You have to be like, and I am Victoria.
Thank you. We're trying to help Victoria. I don't know if it's confidence is why you just go through your name so quickly, or it's just what you're used to.
I'm probably just used to it, and I get nervous by it. So then I just do it. If I do it really fast, it goes faster.
See, it is confidence.
Yeah. Well, I think because is it maybe because like as a producer, you feel like, oh, nobody wants to actually hear me? Because that's not true. People want to hear you.
I think that is it.
Like you think like, I'm not the important part. I'm the this. No, you're the important part.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
You matter.
I'm here for you.
See, that's why we have Ashley. She validates your existence. But that's what we're here to do for all of us. And this is really exciting because I don't know what's about to come out of Ashley's mouth. We saw her in the hallway the other day. She goes, wow, I got a great story for you, but I'm going to wait until we do the podcast to tell it to you. I was like, okay.
Disclaimer, I did not use the word great. I just said I have a story for you.
I thought you said great.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can be the judge. So the last time I was here, we talked about like swiping right, dating apps, all of these things, right? And I was asking you guys a lot of questions. And I'm like,
because you're married.
Because I'm the married person, and I don't. The other day I was like, oh, I've been married 15 years. I haven't. That's a lie. It's been.
I was like, wait a second.
I was like, nope. It was 10 last year. I didn't jump up.
Okay.
I literally just lose all track of time. But the other night I had a dream that I remembered that I was divorced and I needed to get on a dating app. And I had like this panic. This was like the day after we recorded the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get on this app? What one am I supposed to use? And I was like trying to go back to the podcast in my head, thinking like, what app should I be using? And also trying to not just swipe right on people whose pictures I thought were hot, because we talked about that. And I was like, oh my God, it's one episode and it's already infiltrating my brain.
Yeah.
And then I was confused. I was like, am I divorced or am I not divorced? Should I just be on the app anyway? Like, there was this whole thing. I didn't know what was going on.
Did you have to wake up and look over and be like, oh, he's still here?
Yeah. I will tell you the amount of dreams that I have that my husband is divorcing me or like decided that he's leaving me for one of my friends.
Why?
Wow. I don't know. He's never given me any reason to think that he is anything other than like dedicated to us.
Yeah.
It's just my weird brain. There's like it's a mess up here.
It's actually kind of interesting that you say that, because I think a lot of people like self-sabotage like the relationships they're in even before marriage, because they're always afraid that the person's going to leave. Like I always used to say I love when the person I'm dating is snoring, because subconsciously it just reminds me that they're still there. And it's actually crazy that you bring this up, because I'm deep on like my social like self-love whatever profiles right now. And they always say that how you feel or whatever, the person is your mirror, right? Okay. So if the person that you're into or that you like or that you're married to is supposed to be a mirror of you, but if you're starting to feel this, even though you're not, it was just a dream.
Right.
It's not real. It's not real life. But for people like that they're going to leave, like there's something missing that mirror is trying to show you. And it's very frustrating when you try to dig deep and understand what it is, because you're like, well, I like myself though.
Right.
I think I'm awesome though. And I know that they're lucky though. But why?
Yeah.
What part of me feels like I'm not enough for them to stay? You know?
Well, I think you hit on a really good point. Like most of us it's always a constant, like, I'm not enough. Like, and it's not just relationship things. It's anything. Like I could sit in a room with the two of you and I could compliment you guys for an hour.
Right.
And then if I had to compliment myself, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm funny. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even give myself credit for that. I'd be like, I'm pretty creative.
You are.
Like, but I'm saying like I would downplay every compliment, and it would be so much harder for me to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually, when we were in Palm Springs on this girls' weekend I just did, all I was hearing, like all these girls were complimenting everyone else, but like so harsh on themselves. So I made everyone sit there and I was like, okay, so now you're going to go around the room, compliment everyone in the room. So give everyone a compliment. And then I'd say, now compliment yourself.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And it was a cool experiment. Like we all did it.
Were you sober?
I mean, no.
Okay.
We were on a bachelorette party.
But that's still great. Like, even
we
to
weren't-
have the wherewithal to be like, let's have this type of conversation right
Yeah.
now.
We weren't hammered by any means. Like
Sure,
it wasn't like,
but it was like fun and light.
yeah.
But
But it was like people were having more serious conversations. And so, and it's just, like as women, we are always so quick to judge ourselves
yeah.
and immediately put ourselves lower than other people, like than men especially. Like, why?
Yeah. I really don't know.
Yeah.
What is that relationship like? And at the end of the day, like, you like yourself, but why?
Mm-hmm.
And those are the holes that I think that you need to fill in as a person or whatever. Ask yourself those questions to kind of figure out what it is. And when I was younger, actually, it's funny that you had that conversation with your friends on that trip, because when I was younger, I was super self-conscious, like about how I looked and everything about myself. One eyebrow, chubby girl, half person, all this stuff. And my mom would start not letting me leave the house until I stopped and I looked in the mirror and I said something nice about myself. And she would make me do that over and over and over again. And I don't know if that eventually started to play in, because I like to think that, I have good self-esteem on a normal basis, especially in, business and in life and as a friend and all of those things. But when it comes to a partner or a lover, it's like, what the hell? Like, why am I scared right now? It's actually kind of funny, because I'll be honest, and this is very embarrassing, but I kind of went down a rabbit hole the other night, and I've done this with almost everybody that I've dated. And I just kind of look at pictures that I know from their past. That's so psycho.
From their past?
Okay. And this is a disclaimer. If that person happens to be listening, my friend told me about it and I looked at the picture and then I had this thought. Okay. So the thought was just like, because I don't like to put other people down either. Like when you compare yourself to other people, let's say a person that you were seeing moves on to somebody else. It's really easy for us to be like, oh, she's whack, or oh, she's not cute, or oh, she must suck. But she probably doesn't.
Right. It's just your jealousy.
It's right. It's your jealousy. It's whatever your insecurity is. It's whatever that you're looking at and think that you're lacking. And then you're saying that they have what you don't, which isn't true. And again, thanks to my self-help stuff all over social media, this one guy said they never leave you for somebody better. They leave you for somebody easier. But easier doesn't mean that they're not awesome. Easier doesn't mean that they don't have their own things. It just means that whatever that was means that, they need it easier. So all of these types of things. But I went through this rabbit hole and I had to catch myself and stop and being like, okay, she is beautiful, but that doesn't mean that you're not good too, or that you're not beautiful too, or that you're not awesome, or the time that you guys shared wasn't meaningful and that hers was more. It was just so wild.
Yeah.
And I was so mad at myself. I grabbed my Topo Chico and I stormed upstairs to my bedroom and was like, get over it and turn on the TV.
Yeah.
So I did. And I felt much better after that. But it goes to this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Like we catch ourselves in these moments, and it all started with your dream.
It did. Well, and you think about this though, right? We watch social media and TV, I use reality TV, and you see all these people that are so perfect and they won't put out any image that's not perfect. Then you watch them and they're like, all of a sudden I think there's more of a trend of them starting to be more real, where you realize that all of these people that portray themselves as perfect all have the same insecurities that all of the rest of us do.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, I can't show that. Well, why? Like my daughter is 8. It was probably 2 months ago. And this would be if I can offer one piece of advice to anyone who has kids in the future, like start now on teaching yourself to be positive about yourself, because what you say about yourself will catch on with your child. And my daughter got dressed. She came out. She goes, "Do I look fat?"
Oh.
And I was like, I literally didn't know what. I obviously she didn't, but it wasn't anything like couldn't answer her. It was like, I did this.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to make a very conscious effort, one, to not talk about my appearance, to not talk about my insecurities, and not just to not talk about them, because that's not going to help, right? But to overcome them, to say, well, okay, maybe I don't like the way I look right now, but what am I going to do about it? I'm not just going to sit there and bitch about it.
Right.
I'm going to fix it so that I now can portray the confidence that I want my daughter to have. So
It's funny because they're little mirrors of you too. Man, it's like you're living in what do they call it? Those fun houses where the mirrors are everywhere.
I know, clowns.
Oh, Lord.
I hate clowns.
Yeah, and they pop up to remind you too. But I mean, it's just so crazy and interesting. I don't know. I love that you had that dream.
Yeah, well, I know that is weird that it started with that. But yes. So my husband did not cheat on me or divorce me, and I am not on a dating app.
I'm right, and you will never need to be. But
Hopefully. I'll still have dreams about it, though.
I bet you will.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be helpful to make those dreams feel real because Victoria has 2 dates next week from an app.
I know.
Oh
Scary.
my gosh. What do we know about them?
One I think is a pilot. Well, he's not a pilot. I think he's in the Army.
You said
The
you
Air
swiped
Force?
on him because he was a pilot.
I saw that he flies planes.
Oh, but like, does he fly in them or does he actually fly them?
See, that I don't know.
I fly in planes too.
Me too. Swipe right on me, Victoria.
He looked like he could fly one. I just also want to be in it if he can fly it.
Okay. Oh, see, that's brave of you. I would be like, you fly planes? Cool. I'll be down here.
I mean, I think it's cool. Like, I'll stay down here, but I like the idea. Like, one time I hooked up with this guy that was a fighter pilot in the bathroom at this bar in New York.
Oh.
And then after the fact, my friends were like, but how do you know he was really a fighter pilot? I was
Yep.
like, because he said he was. Like, Top Gun style.
But he
and
wasn't like
everything.
wearing his fighter pilot suit because that would be a dead giveaway that he is not, right?
Right. He was not
Okay.
wearing a
Okay,
fighter
good.
pilot
Okay,
suit.
phew.
I believe him.
Okay.
He gave me good stories. But anyway.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
gave
yeah.
me good stories.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So he couldn't have been lying. Okay. So one guy looks like he could fly a plane.
Yes. The other one just looked cute. And that's all I have for that one.
No, he is cute. She showed me a picture. The only thing, and I don't mean to be super judgy on people, it's just I find it weird for some reason because we selfie the heck out of stuff. I selfied today in the bathroom. But this guy has all these selfies on his page. And for some reason, it's so weird for me to see dudes selfieing. Like, maybe bathroom selfies are more normal for a dude, but like the actual, like, I'm smiling into my phone in my car like we do.
I feel like the fact that you just said bathroom selfies would be more normal is disturbing to me.
Like, I don't mean like with your shirt off and the towel around your
But that's like
waist.
what I'm thinking.
But like, you know, you have a cute little outfit on and you're taking a bathroom selfie. Like, I think that's cool
Why?
because I can see more of you that way.
Oh.
So wait, when you took one today, did you take one just like in the mirror like this?
Yeah.
Like just
did you post it? I need to know.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
in my story. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I've
I
never
don't
done
know,
this
like-
bathroom selfie thing.
I don't know. It was just, you know, sometimes I just like to show people what's going on a day, you know?
Okay.
And so this is
I
my
don't hate this for you, but
See?
oh yeah,
It's
okay.
Just a little picture of
Yeah,
me in the
you look
bathroom.
adorable.
Hey, thank you.
I shouldn't say that. You look beautiful
That's okay. I'll take either
and
one.
adorable.
Thank you, Ashley.
Mhm. Yeah.
But the bathroom selfie feels more normal to me with clothes on.
Yeah.
yep.
You know,
Again, I can't get on board with a bathroom selfie. I feel like the regular selfie, I'd prefer to not see you in a bathroom, but that's okay. To each their own.
it wasn't by a toilet, for goodness
Well,
sake.
no, but it's like, why? I'm in a bathroom in a mirror. Oh, God, I look good. I want everyone else to see how good I look. Not for you. I'm saying for a guy. Like for girls, I get it. Girls do it more often because you're showing off the outfit and you need a mirror to
and
show
like a
off the
vibe.
outfit.
Like, it's more like personality for me.
Okay, yeah. But like for a guy, it seems, I guess I'm immediately picturing them like, look at how ripped I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is usually what you get. But I guess the only thing to their defense, because I thought it was weird, he had like 4 selfies and like
I'll show
2
you.
not selfies on his profile. It's just like they feel pressure to have something to post too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
But why that?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like selfies that much.
But I guess maybe it's good, like with a selfie, at least you know that's like, that's him. Like it's not like some,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could doctor it too, but.
well, that's better than
harder.
but that is actually better than the picture of you with your 4 friends and you're not
Yeah.
sure which one is which and it's from far away.
Okay, can I ask you guys a question then? Okay. Do
Oh,
you,
we're back to apps.
yeah, this is something that's fascinating to me. People on social media who like every picture is massively filtered.
Yeah.
Okay, so then when you see them in person, they look literally like not a lesser version, but like a less
It is a lesser
beauty
version.
queen. Well, and I'm not trying to diminish how normal and beautiful
yeah,
they are
yeah,
in real
okay,
life, but
okay.
I'm saying you're like portraying yourself as something perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
And then people see you in real life, and it's like you're already setting someone up almost to be disappointed, which why would you do that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's like that whole instant gratification thing.
Yeah.
Or even for a person that posts with the filters and stuff, you're getting the instant gratification of somebody saying that you're so beautiful.
Yeah. Like,
So, I mean, no, I don't think, I mean, it's not better. I don't know why. I really don't. Like for a minute, it was really fun. Like when Snapchat, like filters first came out, because
yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But
I want to look like a dog. Look at my tongue.
yeah, yeah.
Right? Those- we're talking about the same filters,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
But then it just like gets kind of addicting when you see your skin just like perfect like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, now glass skin is such a thing in skincare where people are trying to actually achieve that naturally without a filter.
Yeah. How do you achieve that naturally?
You can, but it's like a lot of work, and also not everybody's skin will do that.
Yeah.
So, but I do have this product that's dropping in
That's
September
why I was asking you.
that will help you achieve your highest level of moisture.
Okay.
But we'll get into that more later. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know why. You're right. They do.
Because it's like, especially if you did it on a dating app and then you guys go meet. Like, I get it if you're doing something where you're always going to be made up that way. You're always going to look like a TV star, a movie star, right?
Mhm.
Where basically everywhere you go and meet people, you're always going to look that way. But if you're doing it on a dating app and people then meet you in real life, you looked nothing like that. Like, I had a friend that took a picture and posted it of me, and she had like done whatever filter to both of us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, that doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have a friend that did that too.
Yeah.
You can change it that much? I don't really
Yeah.
use filters.
Yeah, you can, which is good. And I almost
Yeah, you
think that
shouldn't.
I had a friend that always was like, no, I post the worst pictures of myself
Mhm.
because I'd rather somebody be surprised with how I look in person. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, wow. So if you like me like that anyway, I got your attention with my not cute photo.
Right?
Now you're about to fall in love. So,
I don't know. Sorry. I took us on another. I'm gonna always ask questions about these apps because I'm fascinated by this.
No,
stuff.
I love
Like
it.
these apps.
I mean, I think we all have questions about these apps,
Yeah.
even still. But I mean, the filters go back to that whole self-love thing too. Like,
Mhm.
what mirror are you looking in that you don't see something in yourself that you think is good enough just to show the world as is?
Right. And you can change the lighting and stuff, but like making, like people do it like their shape of their face almost changes.
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't get it. Like
Yeah.
your teeth are straighter and whiter, which was what happened in that one picture of me. I was like, I mean, my teeth look like Ross and Friends. Like I could glow in the dark right now. This is terrifying.
It took me a second to go, what do
Yeah.
you mean? Oh, yeah.
Remember the
I
black
do.
light in his teeth? And
Yeah, I do.
anyway,
I do.
I'm old.
Well, I know what you're talking
We're
about.
Victoria's like, what? I'm just
I
kidding.
know the show Friends. I just never seen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, before I get into what I was going to say, I just have to tell you really fast. Ash, she had to Google today what go-go dancers were.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right. God, we're old.
I don't think.
Although go-go dancers were before our time.
But they were before our time. But
Oh.
also, I still think it's something that people know.
Yeah, I
I love
maybe.
you, Vic.
But like,
I'm
who
not
really,
trying to put you on blast.
who
but-
really talks about go-go dancers these days?
Thank
though?
you.
Oh.
Yeah,
No one.
Nina's like, daily.
Well, I did, but that's okay.
Yeah, well.
She did.
Yeah.
All right, reeling it back in just a little bit. So actually, this kind of goes perfectly with that whole idea of like, what part of yourself do you feel like is missing? So I told you I was going to ask you guys how you deal with how you deal with your breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
How do you gas yourself back up? Like, what do you do to cope in those moments? Do you beat yourself up and let yourself spiral all the way down? Do you catch yourself before you even get close enough to the bottom? Or, do you start running to your friends and trying to, just talk through everything? Like, how do you deal with those moments when you don't have everything all together?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be, what we were just talking about. Maybe it's something in your relationship that made you spiral. Maybe it's a combination of all of these things, because we go about our day-to-days trying to keep ourselves together. It's a healed girl summer. It's a healing girl year.
Yeah.
Healing is the key word here. And I think that allowing ourselves to have these moments of full-blown breakdowns, because I had one a couple weeks ago and I just wanted to know how other people do this.
Okay.
That's part of you building yourself back up.
Can you talk about what you had a breakdown about?
Yeah. So
Or is it going to make you?
I'm not going to
Okay,
cry.
all right,
No.
okay.
I'm definitely in a better place.
Okay.
And it honestly, it was more about me being so disappointed in myself because I was acting a way that I had told myself I wasn't going to do, how I wasn't going to act anymore. So this person, which I think everybody will kind of gather in time, is I feel like I have my life together when it comes to business and work and all of that. The part of my life that I've always had a hard time with is relationships and romantic settings. So there is a person that I had fallen in love with that is incredible, and I'm still thankful for him and all of this stuff. But it took me longer to understand that we weren't doing this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to a point where I started to feel mad. Like, I accepted it, and to his face, I was like, cool, I understand. Because I do. Like, in my head, I understand that thank you for your time. Like, this was great. You need to go live your life and do you. And cool. But then I like started sending all of these like crazy text messages, you know, and not really tearing him down, but like for me yelling at him was like, you're selfish. Like I'm really careful with my words because I don't want to tell people that they're pieces of shit when I don't truly believe that. And I don't like to hurt people, but I was hurting. I was hurting because I didn't understand why, again, this didn't work. I was hurting because I really believed this time that this person was supposed to be in my life forever in whatever capacity, you know, and that could be a friend, but I think for me, it's too hard to be around him. But, and I just started acting out. I was drinking wine at 10 o'clock in the morning because my anxiety was starting to get crazy and I just needed to calm it down. And I probably should have just gone for a run and then I wouldn't have done the text messaging, but I needed to feel all these things because I've been so tough about it. I've been I got this. I'm good. I've been hurt before. I can get through this. And of course I can, but every hurt still hurts. And I just didn't like how I was acting because I gotta be better than that at this point. Like, I mean, let's think back, like 7 or 8 years ago, I went nuts on this other dude because he didn't want, I mean, that was a little more of a screw me over type of a thing, but I would blow his phone up too, just like trying to get attention, like talk to me, like explain. And I don't like that. And I did it again. And I'm like, how old am I? Why am I doing this? And so then I got really disappointed. And that probably sounds really minor the way that I explained it. But at the time, I wanted more from myself. It wasn't even about him anymore. It was more about how I wasn't feeling classy.
Right.
I wasn't being classy in my chaotic moment. And I didn't like it. And so that led to my spiral and my breakdown. And I was like, oh my God, I live with my parents. And then, oh my God, like I just moved home. Like, oh my God, like I didn't end up doing. And then I just started thinking about all the things that I didn't do and forgetting about all of the things that I had done. And there is a reason I live with my parents right now. And so, but I just let myself go all the way down the hole.
I think it's interesting because the reason why I was asking like what it was because obviously you said you've done this before.
Yeah.
And do you think like in these endings of these relationships, because you're letting someone else dictate that it's over and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. But you're not allowing yourself to ask them the questions in the moment. And so because you don't want to be difficult and you want to be like, yeah, that makes sense. It's fine. And then you're left to sit there and ask yourself all the questions that you're not getting answers to. And you're trying to be, you said, I'm trying to be tough. I mean, why not just cry?
I do. And I think the part that's difficult and is my fault again is because I moved forward with a emotionally unavailable person, knowing it again, believing that I could change things. So he told me even from the beginning, he had just gotten out of a marriage, you know, and he has a whole life that he hasn't experienced on his own. Meanwhile, I've done all those things. So we're just at different places in life. You know, that's what I can say. And he did explain those things, but I didn't want to hear it. And the other one was like, yeah, I just had this kid with this other chick. Like there's crazy situations I put myself in.
Yeah.
And these are very unavailable people that do have feelings for me and I know it. And so I want to prove to myself that, yeah, I'm the one that's going to make it better. And I guess this is also just like another point, not even so much about a breakdown, but that when people say they're unavailable, man, walk.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to listen to them because they're not, you know, I think especially as women, we want to be nurturers. We want to like fix people. If something's broken, you don't want to just leave it there. Your first instinct is to be like, oh my gosh, what can I do to help? How can I fix it?
Yeah.
And in a relationship like that, you are setting yourself up for not a failure like for you, but a failure of the relationship because you're going to try to make something happen that somebody else is not capable of.
Right. So the breakdown was that I did that again too.
Okay. Well, and I think that you're allowed to do those things. It's okay. The problem is that you were then harsh on yourself for how you dealt with it, right? You need to be accepting of, you know what, I got to do what I got to do to get through this. And it's not always going to be classy, and that's okay. Because every experience is a learning experience. So next time, I'm going to remember this, and I will maybe go for a run, and then I might come home and drink some wine, and then I might send a text that I'm pissed off, but it'll be less than last time. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I might make one change that's going to be better. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it because that seems to be what you're hanging on to, right? Is how you reacted to this.
Yes.
Because you want to blame yourself for something that you didn't really do anything wrong. You're emotional and you were upset by something that you actually deeply cared about. That's okay.
Thanks, Ash.
Man,
Yeah.
that was great. Like, I don't know if you'd call it advice.
Thanks.
That was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
That.
I mean, yeah, it was because I was asking you what you do. So
I know. Well, no, but I'm just saying. So that would be my answer though. Is I try to, like, if I have an issue or a breakdown or whatever it is, I will, if I hold it in and I sit there and I try to be tough and I'm fine, it just festers and it doesn't get better. And then it comes out in a way that I don't want it to come out, right?
Mhm.
So I cry and I let myself cry and I let myself be upset about whatever it is that I'm upset about. And then I talk through it. And I'll talk to Mark, I'll talk to my parents, I'll talk to my friends, whatever. And I'll say, like, my dad the other day, I was talking to him about something I was frustrated with. And he was like, I'm sorry that I can't help. I was like, I don't need your help. I just need to get it out.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to talk it through, because in talking it through to you and knowing that you're listening, I'm now like answering my own questions of how to deal with it,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, of course it does. Having somebody listen sometimes is just as powerful as the advice.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes you don't want to talk about it because you feel like you've already exhausted people, or that's why therapy is so great and I need a new
Yeah.
therapist. But yeah, you're right. That does help just to be able to, because most of the time you have your own answers.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And I think we try to find it from somewhere else because then it's more validating to us. But if you just get it from yourself, like, you're the one that knows you best. You're the one that knows why you're actually upset with yourself.
Mhm.
And you're the one that's being harsh on yourself, which you also know.
Mhm.
So it's like, if I just actually talk this through, and sometimes it actually does help to talk to yourself out loud.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Literally all of the time.
Yeah. But cry. It's okay to cry. And when my daughter's frustrated or upset, I'll be like, cry. It makes you feel better.
Oh.
It gets things out.
Does she?
Yeah.
And she feels better?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, being a mom is like making you like the best version of yourself possible,
I like to think so. So thank you.
'Cause
That's a
it-
very good compliment.
because it forces you to hold yourself accountable
Mhm.
because of your little mirror.
Yeah. You can't, like, you all of a sudden have to think, like, how am I going to react? And she'll see me cry. And I just think we started to go, like, in general, as I can't show my emotions. I always have to be tough, especially again for women.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Like, if I put everything off, think about it. If you go through like a personal tragedy and you think, I've got to be tough for this person. I've got to be tough for this person. I've got to be tough for this person. They can't see me cry because then they'll be upset and I don't want to upset them. Well, why? Because crying is really fucking therapeutic.
It really is.
Like, let it out.
Yeah.
And it's okay that other people see you cry. Now, I wouldn't say, like, just go start crying over everything. But, like, when you're frustrated, sometimes that's the only way that you can get out everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sweating
It is. It is. It's
from your eyeballs.
It is a huge release. And it is something I do a lot, just not in front of people
Yeah.
very often. There are some people that have seen me cry, but for some reason, it's one of those things. I think it's the job
Mm-hmm.
for me that has kind of reminded me not to, because I would get so worked up, I'd have to go cry in the bathroom because I
Aw.
just get upset. And then I had a boss once who'd be like, oh, don't say it in front of Nina. She's just going to get real upset. And I just looked at him. I was like, I am upset.
That's a great response. I am upset. And you know what? If I'm going to cry, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, if that's how I deal with my emotions and it makes me feel better after, why should I be ashamed that I have to cry?
Yeah. No, you're right. I think the thing that's helped this time too, aside from, the crying,
Mm-hmm.
is not just letting it go afterwards. And I don't mean like holding on to it as something that makes me upset, but I mean, the talking to yourself thing is so key. And like, I know daily affirmations seem so cheesy, but like you were saying, even the way that you speak about yourself in front of your daughter is holding you accountable, but how you speak about yourself in front of yourself is also another one of those things. So in the morning, like, I like to remind myself that, like, I'm healthy, my family is healthy, this is great, like, I am home for a reason, or I am cool. Like, duh, bitch, you are that bitch. And just even setting the tone that way is super helpful, and not just having that breakdown and pretending it didn't happen.
Right.
It's
Yeah. What did you learn from it?
and allowing yourself to be accountable.
Yeah.
So
And how do you feel after? Like, that's the thing, is if you're just crying and you're not going to, just to cry and be like, "Ah, I'm really pissed." Okay. Well, maybe you're going to gain something. Maybe you're not. But it's like, as you sit there and you get frustrated and you think about these things, like, even while you're talking to yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, man, yeah, I'm pissed or I'm frustrated or all of these emotions that I can't quite get out. And that's how it comes out. Great. Because I'm going to come out of that feeling like less weight on my shoulders and at least like I had a release,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
It is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels good for us. Actually, Victoria, I should really direct this at you because the only time I've really seen your emotions other than like in the studio and like you're smiling and you're laughing and excited about stuff, she'll shut down, and you hold it in. And when people say, how are you? Like, are you okay? What's up? I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do I do that a lot?
Not a lot, but
like,
when you do it, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Because it's not a lot. Do you cry too?
More like to myself. Like, I haven't cried in a long time, and the other day I saw myself, like, crying just because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life kind of vibe. But then, like, I got over it, and I was like, okay, I need to get back to life.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, that's a good, like, I think we can both agree we've had those moments where it's like, God, what am I doing? I have them still.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, why, how am I here? Why am I here? What is, not my purpose, but, like, what are my goals, right? And then sometimes you think about those things and it can be so overwhelming. Like, here's where I want to get. Here's where I am.
Yeah.
How am I going to get there? And it's like that overwhelming sense all of a sudden, like, I don't know how to possibly take that on. But the crying is like, it's just at least you let it out and then you're like, okay, now what? And then because you come out of it and you think like, okay, now what productive step am I going to take after?
Yeah. And it's that whole concept of like surrender. Because lately I've been doing these interviews on other podcasts to talk about like radio and like my path. And they're like, so what would you tell yourself, when you were younger? And the one thing that I think that I would tell myself is just to calm down. Like, and not cry, but almost like don't get so worked up and trust yourself more, and that whole concept of surrender is something that I don't think I could have ever grasped ever. I still don't fully have it. And like, I don't know, you ever do this where you feel like you've aligned with something for like a minute and you're like, okay, let me figure out how to hold this space. And then it goes away again.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that?
No.
I think so.
Okay. So this concept of surrender. So I've been trying to do that lately with this whole concept of surrender. Like, I'm good in this moment, being extremely present and not getting ahead of myself because it's easy to do. Like, I'm in this moment, I'm doing everything that I can in this moment, and I'm going to surrender to the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, that it's going to just be what it's going to be,
Yeah.
I mean, you do have the power to make things good for yourself, but you also have the power to screw it up.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what I get more afraid of is if I fall into those emotions or that fear. I just realized this right now.
I could tell by the way you're all of a sudden, like your eyes, you were like,
Light bulb.
Yeah, because I think that's what I fear. It's that if I give into it too much and I let that narrative that I'm feeling live too long, that there is a level of self-sabotage that exists in my energy space.
yeah.
Like, you will self-sabotage or you will...
Yeah, because I have them so many times. I was right. But I was right because I spoke it into existence. It doesn't mean that it wouldn't have happened if I didn't. But
you might have had a different approach.
Exactly. But I spoke that whole thing and then, into that way. So I get afraid of staying in a negative narrative so long. So this is one of those examples where you really have learned your life lessons, but you're not in control of everything, but you're aware.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to change it. It's like a shift in how, because man, we're getting older every day. And so it's like, you don't want to waste your days thinking about the stupid things that wasted so many of your days when you were younger.
But I think that's the key though, right? Because when you're younger, you don't have that. I always hate it when people are like, oh, I know so much more than you. Because that's not true.
No, it's
you don't know
experience.
much more than me. But I feel like I've learned from my mistakes and I've learned from these things. And it's still, obviously every day is not a perfect day. You're a constant work in progress. But when I was younger, I guess I didn't recognize the daily work that had to be put in to my life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that because it is a weird muscle that you don't realize needs to be worked.
Yeah.
Wait, so what is the daily work that you realize you have to put in your life?
Well, like for me, it's just that one, I have to be aware of the things I say and how they affect people, right? And I have to be aware of who I am and what I bring to the table. And it's okay to doubt myself sometimes or be insecure. I don't have to put on some front that I'm perfect or that I'm really confident or all these things. And I don't have to worry if people like me. Like I always was wanting to be accepted by people, but I wasn't accepting myself. So I would then, like, it was the acceptance to make up for the fact that I was so insecure with my own self. And I was constantly comparing myself to like my skinny roommates and, you know, all of these other people around me, rather than look inside and say like, okay, why is it that you have to sit here and compare yourself to all these people? Why are you not saying like, okay, here's the great things I do have. This is what I do bring to the table. I'm going to focus on these things that are going to actually get me through life versus I'm going to sit here and say like, she has that and I don't. So I'm screwed. So it's like I think if you daily look into, it doesn't have to be like, I've got to make a long list of all the things I'm really great at. But each day I'll say to myself like, okay, I know I've got this today. I nailed it. Like we're good. And just those little kindnesses that you can give to yourself, that's the work I think that you have to do because we're so quick to be so harsh on ourselves all the time.
All the time.
And it just puts you in a really sad, negative place. And I don't even know if you realize it until all of a sudden you're like just sitting there like, God, am I ever nice to myself?
Yeah. It's how you show up for yourself.
Yeah.
100%. It's how you show up. And I think everybody's is different. I don't think everybody needs to show up for themselves the same way. It's, you know, feel what it is that you need today. Like today, I need to, I want to have fun today. So how do I put that bit of playfulness into all of my responsibilities? Or I want to feel good about myself today. What do I need to do that? You know? And sometimes it's, you know, making sure you go to the gym and not to shame yourself if you didn't make it there, but you want to go because you know it makes you feel good or however it is you need to show up for yourself. So instead of just waking up and going and letting the day happen to you, it's you making the choices for what you need and making the day work for you.
Okay.
I think a lot of people too will say like, oh, I've got, you know, again, it's like this big thing. Like people forget to look at the big picture, right? You think of like, oh, today I didn't do this. Like Nina just said, like you didn't go to the gym, so are you going to beat yourself up over it? No, because it's not that day and that gym visit. It's okay, but I have the right mindset, so I'm okay. I'm choking.
Moving forward.
Yeah, moving. Oh my God.
Do you need
You
water?
want some water?
I've got this.
What is that?
Well, it's sparkling water. It's terrifying.
That does not look like.
I
thought
know.
it was a beer.
That would have been awesome.
Sounds about right.
I mean, I did have a White Claw before this, but
Oh, that's fun.
yeah. So it's like moving forward. Do I have the right mindset about things? Like I'm on a constant journey to lose weight. I feel like it's been my entire life. Like it's just this battle all the time, and I've never been in a healthy headspace about it because it's always been about, well, I just got to lose weight. I want to get skinny. I want to get skinny. Well, is that going to make me feel better? No, because every time I've gotten to the skinnier version of me, I never have thought, like I'll look back now and I'll be like, God, I was skinny. In the moment, never ever thought it, right? I was always, oh, I got to get skinnier. All these people are skinnier than me. All of these things. Whereas now I'm trying to lose weight and it's, oh, I went to Palm Springs and I ate and drank whatever I wanted and I didn't care because I know in my life I'm on a healthier path overall. So I can screw up on these 3 days, but it's not a screw up, right? Because my mindset is different than it was. So I know I still made healthier choices than I would have. And that's the focus is the big picture, not these little mini things that you do in like if you screw up, but the little mini things you do to positively affect yourself can build and help the big picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it was just the narrative.
Yeah.
It was just the narrative that you told yourself that it's fine if I do this for 3 days and enjoy myself and live my life and be present.
Yeah.
Because instead, if you said, I've been on this diet, so man, I just got to make sure that I don't eat the chicken fingers, but I know I'm going to drink the wine.
Right.
But like, why?
Yeah.
So it is the narrative. It's the story that you tell yourself. The whole concept of like main character energy that you hear thrown around all the time, like that resonates though. You truly do have the power to dictate what your story says and what it does.
Yeah.
Every day is a new story. So I'm glad that you did that. Good, because you deserve to do that.
Thank you. And I was much happier coming home from my vacation than I would have been if I was like worried the whole time.
I know.
I'm still choking.
She got excited.
Oh man.
I know.
I think that White Claw hit the back of my throat.
That White Claw sounds excellent.
I'm going to open this energy drink now. It's fine.
keep the fluids
Ooh.
flowing. She's about to get him and go, I gotta pee.
Oh, no, I peed before I came in. We're good.
Okay. I'm so glad you got yourself together. See, this was the narrative. She chose
Right.
to be prepared.
I did. Water, energy drink, booze first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is actually an important thing to leave this episode on, though, is being the creator of what happens to you instead of letting things happen to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, what you were asking.
Wait,
what
say
she
that
just
again?
said.
Be the creator. I don't know if this is proper English, but be the creator of what happens to you instead of letting it just happen to you. So,
I like that.
you know,
Take the power.
take the power.
Yeah.
Because you truly have it. Man, we're so powerful. It's crazy. And I think a lot of us are afraid of what we can do if we allow ourselves to be that powerful.
But I will say also, don't be afraid of the things you can't control. Because so many people think like if
Surrender.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, because so many people think like if I let that happen or do something, like they freak out over the idea that they didn't have control over something. There are certain things in your life that you are not going to have control over. And if you stress out about not having control over them, you're already setting yourself up for a failure.
Yeah. And that's where, again, the word is surrender, but you're 100% correct in that. And, you know, as you guys are listening to us talk about this stuff, I'm sure that in your life you've experienced similar things, and maybe your breakdowns were over different stuff, or maybe you had to tell yourself a different narrative to get you out of a space. We would love to hear it. What is our social media? Producer Victoria?
Classy Chaos Pod.
Classy Chaos Pod. If you follow us at Classy Chaos Pod, slide in the DM, share your stuff too. We'd love to read it. And of course, we can, shout you out and bring you up and maybe even have you on an episode.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Fun.
because this is something that we're doing together, living life together, holding each other accountable for our actions, even when it's not always classy. Whatever your definition of classy is, but be easy on yourself.
Yes.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
huge. Man, Ash, thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah. Well,
I think Ash just gave us a gift today.
oh, well,
I do too.
thanks.
So whatever you're doing out there, just make sure you stay chaotic.
But keep it classy.